Straight skills.
Yeah, attenzione. I go the whole nine and don't hold back. Only phonies flex with a Kodak. When it's old time, I get more back. So I yellow bone, quit it, give me Bodak. Yeah, she like all of my rhymes, she let me know. She want all of my time and she let me know. But I don't wanna lie, so I let them know. Baby girl, that won't fly, no, you know. Yeah, know you want me for the wrong things. Probably cause you see a togo top ting. And probably cause your man be a flop ting. Probably make you wanna have my offspring. Don't clock in, I'm big bossing. Who's knocking? Them big face Franklins. Big rich, smart moves, big profit. Way too many mushrooms. All night in it, yeah. I like it.
Here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Back of the Class podcast. I am Will. I'm joined today with Ads.
What's up?
And our guest today, she is a R&B and soul singer, an all-star from the popular TV show The Voice. She has done tours all over the place with the Ministry of Sound. She's performed with numerous orchestras and lead singer for Brown Sugar. She is Lady Lyric.
Whoop, whoop.
What's up?
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. All the way from New Zealand just for this, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I thought so. Like,
That's exactly why I came. Yep.
thank you again for taking some time out to come out and see us.
Oh man,
Jump
thanks
on
for
the potty.
having me. I'm
just-
so nervous.
Just imagine there's like 300 people there.
Yeah, true.
And we're on the top
That's why. That's
top
why.
stage of the boat. What's the boat called? Glass
Soul
Island,
Harbour.
Soul Harbour.
So harbor.
You know,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
We'll start with. Can you let us know who you are? Like, tell us about yourself.
That's my most favorite thing to do. Will, I love talking about myself. Yeah, okay.
If you don't want to say it, you can sing it.
Even better.
If that makes it easier.
Oh, yeah, my stage name is Lady Lyric. There's a whole long story about that. There's been variations over the years, but basically it's Lady Lyric. But also I just go by Letty. And I'm also a mum of like 29 kids, so I'm also just mum. At the moment, we live in New Zealand, and we used to live here. And now I'm just coming back for like gigs and pods, and
Any
just
pods,
it's so Hollywood.
This pod was a gig. That's what she's saying.
It was actually, guys. And I'm I don't know. I guess I'm like this. Like a traveling musician, and I don't know, that sounds weird, but that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
With many hats, you wear many hats.
Yeah, man. I guess I'm like a musician by profession, in that some people are stupid enough to pay me for it, and but really,
She's humble too.
that's it. And so right now I'm currently here from New Zealand. We moved there, like I said, we moved there last year in September, and yeah, I'm here until Monday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tell us about your introduction to music.
Well, actually, that's funny you mentioned that, because my music life started in church, and more specifically in Leon Award, which we are all just like by default OGs of this like very, special, prestigious and all the fancy words, ward. We're like the pioneers of, this ward in particular. And that's kind of how we have a bit of a background, us. And yeah, my grandmother would like take us to choir, and it started from there. And just a little fun fact, even after all those years of choir, I never knew that I was going to grow up to be a singer, let alone wanted to be a singer. I think it chose me, and that sounds so cheeseballs, but really it chose me, because I never had dreams of like being a singer or ever imagined that I would get paid for it. And I managed to raise all 5 of my kids on, being a musician. So thanks for choosing me.
That's
Thank
mad.
you.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea of what you wanted to be? If you say like, you didn't.
Listen,
If
don't
music
laugh.
chose you, what?
Don't laugh when I tell you guys this, and also just keep it between us. But I actually wanted to be a neurosurgeon. Yeah, and I think that was, I don't know, I was just I was what's the word? I was
Obsessed.
yeah. Now I need to find the word.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those ones.
I was
Intrigued.
intrigued by it, and I really wanted to just I wanted to perform surgery, and more specifically on the brain. But I was shocked real quick when the universe said, "No, ma'am, respectfully, you're not a neurosurgeon." And then and now I sing, and I actually laugh when I think, just what, she wanted to be a freaking neurosurgeon. Shut up.
Imagine you're still a neurosurgeon, but like,
For real.
Yeah, I mean, you're still performing some kind of surgery on the brain when you sing. So it's,
I think so. Maybe that's what it was. But
I said, so Will's, he said in your introduction that, you're here for gigs. You're all-star on The Voice. You started from, shout out Leah Horn Award out of Waterview Steak. Started off at church. You probably got thousands of gigs under your belt. Do you remember your first one? And then do you recall having any kind of stage fright?
yes, 100%. So actually just before I became like an official singer, I had entered this competition with a couple of mates of mine, and we were this like rap group. I'm telling y'all all my secrets now. and I was in this rap group with a couple of my friends, and we entered this like local. It was at the Collingwood. we entered this local like talent quest, and they had like different categories. So it was like singing, there was like R&B singing, there was rapping, there was groups. Anyway, we went in and we ended up winning. Funnily enough, we ended up winning the singing section, which was bizarre because we were a rap
Rapping.
group. And then I just met some really cool people. I met Corinne, who's like my music godmother, and I started emceeing first. And like throw your hands up in there and wave them like you just and I did a bit of that with like DJs, like the resident DJs that they would have at the clubs, and that's how I started in the scene. Then there was a band there, Brown Sugar, who would play sort of once a month at the Collingwood, and Corinne had said to them, get my girl up, she can sing. But I'd never sung on a microphone before. And that's a whole thing. Like, you have to learn. Like, you can't just have a good voice but know how to sing on a microphone. You have to really learn how to do that. That's a whole thing, right? So, I got up, and funnily enough, the drummer, who's also the manager and is also one of my very dear friends, he said to Corinne, she's all right. And I always bring that up, like, she's all right. Like 20 years later, she's still all right. And so that's how I started. So my very first gig with them, I was green AF, man. I didn't know how to position the mic properly. I was my breathing was all out of place. And I was this far away from just blowing it, but they saw something in me, and that was the first, and could have been the last, to be honest. But pushed through and experience over the years. It actually took me a few years before I got really comfortable, because I get very nervous to sing, because in my mind I've never considered myself a singer, and I know everyone's like, oh, blah blah, rolling their eyes, guys, we're talking 20 years ago. But I never considered myself a singer. And so, to be up on a stage with all these very talented, seasoned musicians, and I was just this freaking little wannabe neurosurgeon.
From Leah Horn Award.
From Leah Horn Award.
The singing neurosurgeon.
Oh, man. So, I will always remember at least the first year of gigs that I did, because they were not great, man. It was hard. It was...
That's dope though.
Yeah.
Now you look back at those and you're like,
yeah,
grateful for those experiences.
Yeah, and because all my children, they all want to be musicians as well, and they all sing. And sometimes when we get up and we sing at places, or when we're just sort of having a jam, I can see all the things, like the calculations going on in their minds, and I am sort of grateful that I can like sort of give them my experience and explain to them that that's just because you're not used to this, or you need more practice, and that it passes, and that's how you become better at it and a little bit more skilled. And but I don't know, I always say to them, you have to have real thick skin to be in this industry, man, because some people are going to either love you or not. And if you're not tough, man, you could be at a gig and then come home and be sitting in the corner rocking back and forth. Like, they all hate me, I'm so shit. And,
And saying that, we'll put it here.
Yes.
Go check out the Honor family.
Yeah.
What's, do you have any cues or tips or tricks to help settle your nerves, or are you pretty used to it now?
Well, I think first and foremost, don't be afraid of it. If you get nervous, that's normal. If you don't get nervous, then that's what you should be afraid of. I think a healthy amount of butterflies in the stomach, kind of helps push you through the performance. Because if you didn't, then there's something else going on. And you have some serious, inner work to do, because I still get nervous, even in front of the same people, singing with the same, because really, you just want to be good. You know what I mean? You just want to deliver, and you don't want to let your bandmates down, and you don't know why people are there. Someone could have had the worst week of their life, or they're celebrating something great. You just want to be a part of that for them, and don't want to let anyone down. So I think first and foremost, don't be afraid. If you are nervous, that's fine. Second of all, don't forget to breathe, because some people, I don't know, if some people, when they take pictures, they hold their breath, because they're I don't know what it is, the
just tense.
It's
tense.
weird. But once especially when you sing, as soon as your breathing goes, bro, you may as well just fake or something, because that will throw you right off. So be okay that you're a little bit nervous, and breathe, and everything else should be. If not, then you should probably just try and do something else.
Have you seen High School Musical?
Yes.
Is that what that thing is? Is that a real thing for singers?
Which part?
And they were like,
Look, everyone.
Is that a real thing?
I don't know. Is it a real thing, or just a certain people thing? But look, I have my own pre-ritual, pre-game ritual things that I do. I personally just like to be by myself. Don't talk to me too much, because then I get distracted, and then I can't focus on, especially bigger performances like the stuff with Ministry of Sound. Man, that's a lot. We're singing to thousands of people, and I'm singing music that I don't usually listen to, and I probably only learned the week before. So not jokes, I learned all my shit way before. I'm so good. And but everyone has a different thing. Some people do cartwheels. Some people need a shot of whiskey or whatever it is. I don't know, but I think that's because that's vocal warm-ups. But also it's Disney, so they're probably just being dramatic.
Because I seen when I was in intermediate, I actually remember girls doing it, but this was after High School Musical had come out.
Yeah,
and then they got on stage and they're shit.
Yeah, so they just copied her.
Yeah,
just copied them. Yeah.
Sharpay,
Ryan
and Sharpay.
Talk to us about The Voice. You were on there 2 seasons.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Oh man, look, mine was great. I had a great experience. I think everyone has a different experience, whether it's good or it's bad. But I met some really cool people. I got to see and do some really cool things. I got to meet Kelly Rowland.
Yeah.
Nice.
And give her some brownies. And
Kelly Rowland.
Did you give her those Tealish?
Mm-hmm. Because at the time I was working at Tealish.
That's right.
Yeah.
So shout out Tealish brownies.
Yeah, man.
Tealish brownies.
My Tealish fam. And
right
and I took some for her, and it was the best idea ever, because yeah, I'm sure it like won me some points, but also she got to taste the best brownies in the world. And then she actually ended up ordering some for her birthday. And then Shani and Jermaine were able to like construct her birthday brownie tower, and they got to hang out with her, and she said that they were the best brownies she's ever had in her life. And I was like, well, duh. Miss Roland, like, duh, yeah. So, yeah, look, my voice experience was great, and I think that had a lot to do with my mindset going in. The first year, I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a blur. My mum had just passed away, and I was probably I don't know if I can say this, you might have to edit it up. I was probably like high the whole time, just because I was dealing with having lost my mum. And so it was quite a blur that first year. But Joel was really cool. My only thing about the show is it's very hard to make a real connection with the coaches, which is what you want. Like, you're silly if you think you're going to go in there and win. What you want is the experience, and what you want is the knowledge from these coaches, because they're freaking international superstars, right? Like
they're in the position where you want to ultimately be.
And whatever wisdom they have to impart on you, you want to be able to take it in, because that's the stuff that's going to help you after the show, long after the show. So, but because at the end of the day it is a show, there's lots going on behind the scenes. So they've got earpieces in, producers are just all in their ears, and you're trying to connect with them, you know, then they're cutting, you know, to like, okay, can we get you at this angle? And so you're like, you're trying to get out of it what you can, but at the end of the day, it's still a TV show, and they're just trying to get the right angles, get the right, you know, dialogue. So that's probably what I struggled with the most. But it was fun, man. You know, hair and makeup, full catering. They drive you everywhere. But I will say the one thing I did struggle with was just the instant popularity. I am pretty private, and I don't really go anywhere. And I like to do things like grocery shopping and things like that. But when you've been on a TV show that's pretty popular and everybody watches it, man, I had like little kids from the school around the corner dropping things in my mailbox.
Really?
And like, it was a bit like fun at first, but then I was like, shit, I've got kids. Like, and all these kids, like all these teenagers know where I live and that I live here, and, you know, going to just buy some bread because we ran out of bread, and people were, you know, coming up to me and like, I only dress up and put makeup on and nice clothes if I'm at a gig. If I'm just going to buy some bread, bruh, I'll be like, you have my socks match. Like, you know, and so then I had to do that. I had to make sure I looked like decent every time I went somewhere, just in case someone stopped me. And that I struggled with. And I've always said, man, the singing for me is a job, and I use it to feed my kids and support my family financially. You can keep all the fame. Because I have no desire to be famous. I have no desire to be, you know, popular and viral and any of that stuff. This is just how I feed my kids, you know, like, this is just my financial contribution to my family. So please don't ask me for, it's not me, I promise. It's someone else, yeah.
When all of a sudden the trip to get bread takes an hour and a half.
Oh, man. And long hours on the set. It's not for the faint-hearted. That's what I always say to the kids, like, man, it's lots of hours, it's lots of sitting around, it's lots of hurry up to wait, you know, like there's lots of, it's very tedious work. And if you don't have, you know, a strong heart and just good mental capacity, that's why a lot of guys like Britney Spears lose their marbles. And a good support system, man, that's so important. So shout out to my husband, who's he's just made it so much easier for me over the years, because we have kids, you know. And
shout out Sanjay.
Yeah, man. And the fact that I've never had to set foot really in an office or in a factory, which, by the way, is honest work, but the fact that I never had to do that, and I could just sing and really do something that I absolutely love, is just a testament to my village and to, you know, a very good husband who was just always, like, I spent a lot of time in nightclubs, which I hate, but that's the job, you know, like, that's just.
And the nightclub, and we're the ones at the front.
Well, you know, listen, that's no way. I love that shit, man. I love seeing you guys out there. It makes it a little bit like, oh, hi, you know, like, hi guys. So it's pretty cool.
That's mad. We'll take a quick break and then we'll get back to it. The Back of the Class podcast. Back after this.
I've been up to something. Caught you by surprise and see me coming. Couldn't leave the game alone.
And we're back. Was there any like politics on the show that like we don't see?
Probably. There's probably a bunch. I think the only thing is whether or not it was scripted or really real. That was, I always tried to stay as transparent as possible because I didn't ever want to come across to the audience and to the public other than, me.
Yeah.
But probably there was a lot of scripted, pum-pums, that happen for obvious reasons, ratings, to keep people, but I don't know. I think maybe the biggest thing that we probably didn't speak about on set or anywhere was just the connection between like Chris Sebastian and Guy Sebastian.
Right.
Personally, it didn't bother me. I didn't think it was an issue at all because...
But it's like the elephant in the room, maybe.
Yeah. And yeah, whatever. Like Chris is a great guy. He's a great friend of mine. And then after the show, I did a few gigs with Guy Sebastian as well. So
Good friend of mine too.
yeah, besties. But that's what I mean. Like,
Shout out to Sebastian.
Hi, friends. It really just, I don't know. I think you have to be smart about when you watch these shows. Like, you really can't take it for face value. You have to know that to an extent, a lot of it is just to keep the audience engaged. Yeah. And if you're one of those guys that take things that happen on reality shows like that to heart, bro, go watch a documentary because that's not how these shows work. And, I don't know, probably there were real politics, but who knows? It could have just been part of the show,
Yeah. When you came back on the second time and you said you weren't vocally where you were the first time.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Oh, man. So I think I just lost my voice. And as singers, sometimes we develop a thing called nodules where it's just very like kind of swelling on your vocal folds and makes it really hard for you to sing. I kind of have a little bit of it now. You can kind of hear that husk because I've been singing.
Same. Nodules.
From vaping too much.
Oh, yeah, that too, probably. And I tried really hard to do all the things, drink the teas and do the vocal rest. Mono always brings up, he thinks it's funny because I do a vocal rest, right? He thinks it's hilarious because then I spend like a whole day just mouthing things to people.
Yeah.
Because it's the most effective if you do it for like a full 24 hours. It really helps get your voice back. And the longer, the better. And of course, all the votes. So basically, guys, I did everything but freaking pulled the nodules out myself, It turned out I didn't actually have nodules. I had like pre-nodules. So if I'd kept going any longer, I would have developed real nodules, which involves surgery, sometimes even just giving up. And but then later on I found out that it was kind of directly connected to what was going on in here and in here. And ultimately, I just had to take a whole break and not just like a weekend. I mean, like I took months off, like lots of months off and did some really deep like inner work. Like, do I really want to do this? I like had to look at other professions. I was going to be a vet. I was looking at like midwifery and then I realized I hate freaking guts and shit and I can't see anyone else's body juices. So then we ticked that off the, but I really just thought, all right, I can't sing anymore. Like my voice is broken. I would do one gig, barely get through half of it, and then couldn't talk for like 3 days. And there was a lot going on inside. It wasn't making me happy anymore. So I took some time off. And then the most important part about that was I had to step away from brown sugar. Brown sugar was doing too much and I couldn't keep up with it. And I felt like I was letting everyone down, turning up to gigs and getting upset because I couldn't sing, but it wasn't their fault. It was, something that was happening inside. Singing wasn't bringing me joy anymore. So I had to step away from Brown Sugar, which was heartbreaking because, man, that's my family. And like, I'm sure you guys know this, Brown Sugar works a lot. So that's like really good money. Yeah. And I was saying, no, keep all your money. I don't want it, but then, along come, the other side of my music family and guys like Volley K, shout out to Volley K, shout out to Uncle H, who just took me the way I was. So whatever I could produce on the night, they never made me feel, not the Brown Sugar did either, but they never made me feel like I was shit or, it was crap. And so that allowed me to sort of heal what was going on really first in here and in here, and then in here organically. It wasn't, I wasn't just sort of, saving up all this voice and then blowing it on one night. What was happening was, the swelling was coming down. I was starting to love it again. I felt safe where I was. And, my guys just really lifted me when, I felt like, oh, shit, I need to give up. I can't do this anymore. So, yeah, that's what I meant. So when I went and did The Voice, I definitely didn't have the voice that I had when I originally auditioned in 2013. And really, at the time I went back as an all-star, I was only just learning to use the voice that I have now. I was, and it was
interesting.
Yeah, and so I was at a point where like some songs, it was like a real, please Lord, please let me get this note out, just one note, but yeah, it was really, and even still now I have to, like, you can hear it, and like I said, man, I blew my voice on the weekend and I couldn't do 2 gigs because I'm not a singer anymore in New Zealand. I bake bread. But yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. And that's kind of what that meant. I just have to use whatever I've got now. That's what you get.
Because it's like if you don't feel right up here and here, like the money means nothing. You can keep all that, like you do need to take a step back, like for yourself.
Yep.
Then
that
it puts
applies
into
to
perspective.
anything. That applies to anything.
Like then it gives you a chance to like really look at what you value.
Yep.
Like the people around you, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, if it comes back and it's meant to be, then it's meant to be.
Yeah, and I always say this, especially having gone through it myself. Your voice and your vocals are directly connected to your emotions. So if you're, and I've had to sing through some really hard stuff, like my mom, or just even little hard things, and singing through all of that is hard sometimes, and your voice cracks and your voice shuts up, like when you are like sad about something or you're nervous about something, and yeah, if you're not okay, internally, it doesn't matter. I mean, look at freaking greats like Whitney Houston. Towards the end, she couldn't barely sing, and I believe that had something to do with something that was going on internally. Yeah. Even Mariah Carey, like she is like not even that great on a good day. I'm probably gonna get slammed for that, but like you've seen the videos.
I've seen videos.
You've seen the videos, and I think that has a lot to do with just stress. Things that are going on in your life. So yeah, gotta just keep it light and happy. Otherwise, you end up with no voice.
That's bad. Shout out to Volley K and Uncle H.
Yeah, Uncle H.
For
there's heaps
on.
of others, but yeah, definitely those guys were the
Yeah, shout out those two. And I actually feel kind of shit now that I'm sitting here next to Lady Lyric because I didn't get a chance to thank you in person. But Lyric and her family actually performed a beautiful item at our dad's family service, which leads me to my next question. She had 2 of her boys on the stage with her. Are they? Is music something that you're passing on to them? Are they really passionate about?
Man, I don't know. I think when the kids, they're not even fazed by some of the really cool things that I do. And I'm going to sound like such a mom, but like I do some really cool stuff, guys, and they are just not even fazed. I will always just be mum to them. And I love that because there's nothing better than, being away from them for this many days, doing gigs and having so much love shown to me by people that we're singing to, right? And our music family. And then I get to just go home and, freaking do someone's laundry. And like, Mom, where's my socks? Like, like that kind of stuff. But I think, man, both Sanjay and I are so determined to just give them every opportunity that they will need to just do the thing that they want to do. If that means, 1 week they want to be a freaking basketball player or, a golfer, and then the next week they want to, study dinosaurs or whatever it is. Our job and our goal is just to be able to give them the opportunity to do so. So when we discovered that they had, just this like music thing in them, they could sing. I mean, Hazen's been doing like freaking harmonies since he was 4. And yeah, when like I was like, oh man, that's really cool. Like, holy, like 4 years old. So over the years, we've just sort of introduced them slowly to different things. But now we're at a point now where I expect a lot from them. Like, some of the harmonies that we do, I can't even do with some of the adult professional singers that I'm not going to name anyone. Don't worry. But if you feel like this applies to you, that's not my problem. But
some of the harmonies on.
If the shoe fits,
yeah, man.
If the shoe fits,
that's a you problem. But no, listen, these boys are, man, they're super talented, and so we want to just be able to equip them with, the skills that I have, the skills that Sanjay has. So if they decide in 10 years they want to do it, then they'll be ready for it. But if they don't, then I at least want them to have the option. Because they may not think, they may want to sing now, but in 10 years they may not want to sing, and vice versa. Because right now it's a chore. Like, everybody sees the finished product, but no one sees the tears, freaking sussas, the threats, but I don't know, man. There's something about like making music with like people that you birthed, they came from me, and man, it's beautiful. And I think the end product always outweighs the stress of like being able to perform at sing at your father's funeral that's special for us, because we get to show love the way, that's our love language, to bring, music and a little bit of joy to what is obviously a really sad moment for you guys, but also, seeing people's faces, like, Auntie Malemi and Uncle Eri were in the audience, and I could not look at them. I couldn't look at you guys, but I could not look at them because they just have these glassy, proud, freaking koro and nanny eyes, and I know that that's because of the boys. And then there's a part of me that wants to be like, oh, because those are mine. But no, they're their own people, and they absolutely can take full credit for what they do, because I'm telling you now, these boys are going to be better than I ever could be. They will sing circles, already sing circles. Quincy has perfect pitch. If we are learning a song and we stop for a minute and we get distracted or whatever, if I tell Quincy to bring us back into the original key of the song, I can't do that.
He's got that ear for it.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, oh, you're so good.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, and that's not me being modest. That's not me. That's facts, man. Like, these kids, they're very good. And they all play instruments, and yeah, I'm just hoping for early retirement there, guys.
Yeah, it's like something I picked up on. You said you just give them the freedom to do whatever they feel like they want to do. Because I always talk to people like. And I say, like, when we're growing up, especially being Pacific Island, or the conversations around the table, when you're young, you're brought into money talks.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, if we were just always given, like, the freedom to just never worry about money, what we would be, you know what I mean? Like, like you say, a neurosurgeon, and, like, I always just think of that, like, what would every single person be if
it wasn't just about bringing money into the family.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, some people, like, 15 years old, like, oh, I got to get a job.
Yeah.
And then, you put your what you're passionate for
Yeah.
on the back burner.
Yeah.
And then you just...
Because you fall
you just
into a
never,
trap.
Yeah, you just never really...
Yep.
That's
That's kind of where Quincy is right now. He's working part time. My little brother Aaron, he has a like a construction building company, and Quincy has the opportunity to go work. He only does like real light jobs, like works with the nail gun and digs holes and stuff. But he's getting paid like big boy money, right? And he's come home and he's he's grateful for the money, but yeah, he's. We're very mindful that we don't want him to, fall into that trap of just being, blinded by this money, because one, he's only 15, and two, this kid could literally be anything he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And Sanjay and I are very, that's your money. You do what you need to do with your money. If you feel called to help our family financially, good for you. I need a new pair of shoes, but really, man, you're right, because I just don't know if I could live with myself if my son just fell into the trap of just working, to make the money, and he wasn't doing the thing that he was called here to do. And he's never going to know that unless he gives everything a go. He may not, he right now, his thing is like, he wants to do the production side of music. So we're going to find him a school to go and do that, and then maybe next year, you might want to be a neurosurgeon too. So yeah, I think you're right. There could be a lot of people out there that could have been a million different things. Right, here we are, just getting day by day, just trying to. Man.
So we went before. You say you do music full time now?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that now that your boys are passionate about music, does that make the transition easier, or do you still get like distracted?
Well, okay, so a bit of backstory. The boys are homeschooled, right? So yes, I sing, but also they are my only other focus, because I got to do their schoolwork during the day and stuff. But I've pretty much been doing music full time because it works, right? Sunday works, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and then I work like 5 to 9, like the other way from Friday to like Sundays. So man, like we've been very blessed to be able to. That's been our dynamic for years, and then that allows me to be with the kids, during the week, nurture them however I can, and then I go and. Then I go sing in the nightclubs on the weekend.
You go sing for Will and Arden and the
and Alamein and
Mona.
and Mona.
We're trying not to fall off the edge of the boat,
bro. We're all trying not to. So here's another little backstory. I get really bad motion sickness. So the reason why I stand outside a lot is because obviously the fresh air, but I need to see the water. Because then that tells my brain, oh, we're on the water.
Oh, right.
Because if I'm in the boat and and we're kind of sitting down somewhere and I can feel it moving, then my brain goes, wait, where are we? And then I feel really sick. So it's taken. I'm better at it now, but man, the first few cruises, bro, I was like hanging over the side. Like, it's very hard.
I think the first time I went on, I was sick at the end.
Yeah.
But now I'm pro.
Yeah, man, me too.
Now I'm.
Now I just catch a water taxi and I leave.
We're on two boats.
Now I'm steering. The boat.
Yeah,
El Capitan.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
What took you to Auckland?
Well, we adopted a little baby. So Sanjay and I have 4 boys. We have Cypress, Quincy, Hazen, and Avery. And a cousin of mine, through marriage, was pregnant during COVID. And I think it wasn't a great relationship and she couldn't keep the baby. And so we were asked if we would adopt. We didn't know she was going to be a little girl at the time. And me... Probably I should have checked with my husband, but I just said yes because we wanted to have another baby. I've always wanted to have like 12 kids because I was pretty much an only child growing up. My sister was much older than me, and if you ever hear me refer to my brothers and my sisters, they're actually my first cousins, and we're just brothers and sisters, right? But I was really an only child, so I always wanted to have lots of kids. So me and Sanjay did a pretty good job. We started out pretty strong, and then after Avery, man, because then all that stuff happened with my voice and blah blah, and Yeah, I think we just missed our train. Like, and then there was going to be a really big gap. But then this happened, and I just saw this as, you know, like the Lord's way of saying, well, here you go. Here's a chance for you to have this baby that you're so longing for. And I just said yes. And then it was a bit touch and go there for a while with my husband, because he's a little bit more like logical than I am. Like, I will just like,
Think with your heart.
Yeah.
yes, let's move to the moon, you know. But Sanjay's like, come on, we've got to think about this. Like, what about this? All the logistics. But I'll just do it. I don't care. And so anyway, we decide to, okay, we're going to adopt her. So Sanjay was supposed to just go there last year and bring her back. But yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than that. So Sanjay was there for 2 months before we decided, nah, bro, we can't do this.
Yeah,
so we just
gotta
packed
head
up.
over.
Yeah, we just packed up and left. And everybody was really shocked, but also not shocked, because, again, I just make choices like that. Like, I don't have any, you know, like, commitment, you know, things. Like, nothing can really hold me to something unless it's, you know, freaking a wheelchair or something like that. I will go. If I feel called to somewhere, I will absolutely just leave everything and go. So we all moved over there. And unfortunately, because of COVID and all the border restrictions, we didn't get to her till she was about 1. And yeah, but now we've been there since last year in September. And when I tell you guys, this little girl was just always meant for us.
Yeah, she's so cute. She's
Oh,
so funny.
man. Yeah, that's right. You met her. And
Hey,
and
my
sh-
guts though. But
she doesn't like many people.
I see you got your girl.
Yeah, we did. So that's why we moved there, and we love it. We love it over there. Look, granted, I have come back here like 20 times since we've left. I feel like I've been here more often than I've been in New Zealand. But we love it in New Zealand. We love it. I feel really connected to the place. It makes me feel close to, you know, like my mom and my grandma, because we spent a lot of time there. Obviously, we, you know, I was born and raised there, and then we've been here for heaps of years. So going back to New Zealand feels like the same. Like, sorry, it feels different. Like it's my first time there, even though I was born and raised there. I'm sure you guys feel the same way too, right? So this is such a new experience for us. We live in a really beautiful area. And I've got lots of family there who have helped us so far. We've just moved into our own house, and yeah,
Congratulations.
it's pretty. Thank you.
Nice.
It's pretty exciting. So I just got a really cool job, and yeah, we're pretty happy right now. So
So life's good.
life's good.
pretty good.
That's
Love
cool.
that.
Pretty good.
So you're residing in Auckland full time now. Are
Mm-hmm.
you performing or doing any gigs in Auckland?
Yeah, I've done a handful of gigs. I've done a few little like jam nights at the sweatshop and in
Ponsonby
Is it? No, it's in like the city. Like
Sweatshop.
yeah, Sweatshop Brewery, and
I think
in
that's-
particular the 09 Soul Sessions, which has been really cool because man, the freaking talent,
It sounds like a mean.
oh, so good.
Soul is a bit different, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think just the musicianship and also the crowd. I've never been in a room where everybody in there is just genuinely appreciative of what they're hearing. Doesn't matter if they don't know who they are. No one knew me in that room, but the reception I got was purely based on the music that was filling that room, right? They didn't care who I was or what my credentials were. They just loved the song and they were appreciating the music that we were making. The musicians on stage, like top tier, man. Like I did one rehearsal with them, like one short rehearsal. I literally gave them my song on the spot and they learnt it like that. I was like,
That's
okay,
pretty mean, eh?
that's really cool.
Is that the like? Because me and Will, we've always said that The Voice, they have the best bands. Like
Yeah.
we just feel like was
Yep.
that the same kind of vibe
Yep.
you were getting from?
Yep, and it actually put me in my head a little bit because, I mean, you know, like I'm an old bag and I've been doing this for years and I've gotten to work with heaps of very talented musicians and I've never felt like that before. And I walked out of that room just like the bigger part of me was very inspired, but the other part of me was like, shit, I got work to do, man. Like, I really need to just step up my game. If I want to be in this community and be a part of this industry here, bro, I need to be better.
So is it 09 Soul Sessions?
Yeah.
At
Sweatshop.
Sweatshop Brewery. I think that's in Ponsonby. Hey,
It's kind of in the it's
city
in the
somewhere?
city. Yeah. No, that's I think I know the one that you're talking about. It's something else brewery, but no,
Oh.
that's in Ponsonby. But no, this one is. I want to say. Nah, I don't want to say in case it's wrong. I'm still just like I don't know anything out of Papakura and Pukekohe. Sorry.
Well, either way, we'll drop our sisters at for socials on here. Keep your eyes and your ears peeled. If you have a chance to go and witness her live, go and do so, because we all know a good night starts with good music and ends with good music. So
Yeah, honestly, that's why I love like going to the gigs. 'Cause,
live music.
yeah, live
Yeah.
music is just
It's different, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can sing along. I mean, try to.
Yeah, you just like just on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah,
We went and watched Lyric perform on Soul Harbour once. Me, Will, shout out Mona and Alamine, and we were just at the front, just bumping everyone off, screaming our lungs out.
Standard, guys. That's standard.
like we don't see her all the time.
Especially if it's Alamine. Like Alamine is
Alamine
like
is
the
the
one of the
man.
smallest people.
The
in
loudest, eh?
But mate, when I tell you, he's like a giant at the front there, and I often have to just be like to like security and just people around. Like all my band members, like family know him now. They know him, but I have to like look at the security. Like, no, it's fine. He's fine. He's all right. He's not even like really. He's fine.
But saying that, shout out to you as well, because we didn't tell you this, but me and Alamine, we somehow got back to our hotel room after, and we were laughing in the morning about how we purposely tried to put you off. And she wouldn't budge. She's a
Never.
pro.
I'm a pro.
She's been there, done that. She's not gonna laugh at two idiots at the front of the stage trying to
Oh mate! So I do this little trick, right? And I and this applies to all of the gigs. Now that you guys know this, you're gonna be looking at me like she does. So I don't actually look at anyone. I just look at the tops of people's heads. So it looks like I'm looking eye level, but I'm actually looking kind of past. So at Marble Bar in particular, I'm looking at the door. Like it does, and I'm just kind of singing to the door, but it looks like I'm singing. So then I don't make eye contact because actually I get very easily distracted. And probably if I had looked at you guys, then you would have won, but you didn't.
So that's the trick.
So do you post on your socials when you're going to be somewhere?
Yeah. Well, I'm really bad at it, but I should, and I do. So usually you'll get a bit of a share. If you tag me in something, I'll definitely share it. But yeah, you know what my problem is with social media? I don't ever want to come across as like dry. So I'll go to post something, come up with some like, cool caption and then go, bro, that's dry balls, and then just delete it. And then you get nothing. So you either get something really good or you're going to get nothing. So know that whenever you see me post something,
it took a while.
that took ages. Because I just am like, it's so yuck.
No, that's us too.
Yeah.
When we post our reels, I'm like sending it around to the boys. Oh, is this right? Or like,
Yeah.
And that again, that's shout out to our cut man Mona.
Oh, mate. If I could, that's what I need to do. Just send all my videos to Mona and get him to cut them for me, because then I'll post it.
Yeah, we just say, "Oi, Mona, just do your thing." Like,
Yeah, nah. That's good quality posts. Not my crappy freaking bro.
No, but we won't keep you too much longer. We just want to say thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
If you guys are in Sydney, the 09, or follow our girl on Instagram, you on Facebook, or you got a page on Facebook?
Yeah, I got a Facebook page, Lady Lyric. My Instagram is Lady Lyric. And I have a TikTok, but listen, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time yet.
She's watching movies on TikTok, so don't go following that page.
I'm watching like 25 clips to watch.
To watch a 10-minute scene.
Yeah.
So if you guys wanting a good night out with some live music, go check out our sis. Check out the kids and the family at the Hona family. That's the ad, eh?
Yeah, the Hona family.
Yeah. We'll try to remember to tag them more. But yeah, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you taking the time out to come in. We appreciate you flying over to be on this episode.
Totally. Yeah. I'll do it again.
Yeah,
I'll do it again.
I will take care of all your invoices and
All good. Okay.
Nah,
I'll just take the motorcycle. How about that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
she has
Take
to
it.
come. She has to come back on. We weren't gonna make her sing this time around because she's got her nodules. So
Yeah, sorry guys.
and she she mentioned already she sings to provide for her family. So we're not gonna risk it.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, just means that she comes back on again.
Yep.
Yeah. So the kids,
Steph's.
this meal's on us.
You're welcome.
Eat up, guys. Eat up. It'll be a while till the next one.
Yeah. Well, this is I'm Will. That's Ads. This is Lady Lyric. Take us out with a little bit of advice for someone who's looking at getting into singing.
I think this is something that I've learned recently, but I think that this is going to be my new mantra walking in. They often, the saying that find something that you love to do and you'll never have to work a day in your life. I think that that's not necessarily true. I think that you actually have to work twice as hard as someone else who's not necessarily doing the thing that they love. So my advice is just really make sure that that's the thing that you love, because it takes a lot of hard work, but it's not doable. So, and yeah, if it stops bringing you joy, then yeah, it's not the end of the world to change. I think you just have to keep doing the thing that makes your insides feel nice. And if your insides don't feel nice, well, then you end up with a broken voice like I did for a while. So my advice is keep doing it until it, doesn't feel nice anymore, and then do something else. Yeah.
That's dope.
That's mad. Take care of your mentals.
Yeah.
Take care of your voice.
Yeah.
That's Lady Lyric, everyone. And we are the Back of the Class podcast. And we out.
Catch us.
Peace. They suffocating the game, I can't let it breathe. And it's the long way and keep your shine brief. All the haters like fake, deep down they do believe. Boy, it's never too late, you should get that degree. That ain't your whip, that's a leash. At least you can cut all your losses. Not everyone can be the boss, but send me a decent deposit. My pen just might make you